All right, this is the distributive property word problems homework. Take a look at number 1. It says use the distributive property to write an expression that's equivalent to 2 times the quantity of y plus z. So remember, the distributive property is where you take the number that's on the outside of parentheses and you multiply it times each term on the inside of the parentheses. So when you do that, you're going to take 2 and you're going to multiply it by y, which will give you 2y. Then you're going to bring down the operation sign, and we're going to go back to the 2, and we're going to multiply it times the next term in the parentheses, which is z. 2 times z is 2z. There's nothing else inside the parentheses, so when I look at 2y plus 2z, they have different variables, so that means we can't combine them. So that's our answer. We would just leave it like that. Number 2 says, your friend does 25 push-ups and 60 sit-ups every night. For n nights, the expression n times the quantity, 25 plus 60, represents the total number of push-ups and sit-ups. Use that distributive property to write an equivalent expression that also shows the total number of push-ups and sit-ups for n nights. So I'm going to bring that expression down, n times the quantity, 25 plus 60. We're going to use that distributive property where we take the value on the outside of parentheses and we multiply it times every term inside. So n times 25 is 25n. Now mathematicians always put that number in front of the letter. Even though the letter's in front here, we're going to write it like this. Then the operation comes down, and now I'm going to do n times 60, which is 60n. So we could, if we wanted, we could combine these two because they both have an n, but I'm going to leave it like this, 25n plus 60n once we do that distributive property. All right, take a look at number 3. You and a friend go shopping at a store where each item costs W dollars. You buy 7 items. Your friend buys 6 items. Use the distributive property to write an equivalent expression for the cost of our combined purchases. So if I combine the purchases, if I buy 7 items and my friend buys 6 items, and I combine them, it would look like that. Now, to find how much it's going to cost, we would have to take the amount of dollars that each item is and multiply it by what's inside the parentheses. They didn't tell us how much it was. They just said it's W dollars. So I'm going to put a W on the outside of the parentheses. Now, they also want us to use the distributive property to write an equivalent expression to this. So if I do that, I'm going to take the W and I'm going to multiply it by 7. And that would give me 7W. I'm going to bring the plus sign down and do W times 6, which is 6W. All right, number 4 says, a family is on vacation for 4 days. The rental car costs $66 per day, and the hotel room is V dollars per day. The total cost of the car and the hotel room is the number of days multiplied by the sum of the daily cost of the rental car and the daily cost of the hotel room. Use the distributive property to write 2 equivalent expressions for the total cost of the vacation for 4 days. So here's what they said. They said that the total cost is the number of days that they're going on vacation multiplied by a certain quantity. That quantity is the sum of the rental car and the hotel room. So if I look back up in the reading, the rental car is $66 a day. The hotel room is V dollars. They didn't give us a certain amount. And the number of days they're going on vacation for is 4. So I'm going to let you guys use the distributive property to come up with an equivalent expression, two equivalent expressions for the total cost. All right, now number 5. It says use the distributive property to write an expression that's equivalent to this. So same thing. The only thing different about this one is there's 3 terms inside the parentheses. So this is like one we did on our notes. You're going to take that 7, you're going to multiply it by p squared, then you're going to bring the plus sign down, and you're going to multiply it by 5m, and then you're going to bring this plus sign down, and you have to multiply it a 3rd time by 10. All of those are inside the parentheses, so you have to multiply that 7 by all 3. So you'll get 3 different terms for your answer. Hope that helps.